Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And quite a few of the viewers actually reached out to me and then asked me quite a common question that I realized is, Gary, what can I buy with around $1.5 million budget? What condos can I look at? And henceforth, I decided to do today's content. We're going to look at condos below $1.5 million. I realized that the people that reach out to me, they broad-based are divided into two groups. They are either first-time homeowners looking for their first house, or some of them are upgraders from their current condo or the current HDB. They are looking for another place also. So I also have divided this content into these two segments, and also I will be touching on both new as well as resale properties that you can look at in this video. And if you missed out and you want to find out whether resale or new launch, new project is better for you, you can have a look at the video that I did a few weeks back. I actually talk about new launch versus resale, what are the pros and cons, and it really depends on your requirement at the point of time. Also, special shout out to one of my viewers. She reached out to me. We did a comparison before she made a choice between 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 condo and 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 condo. So I was very happy to do that. And if any of you are at the crossroad and you are deciding which condos to go for, my WhatsApp number is in the link below. Feel free to reach out to me. And if not, please help me to like and subscribe. And let's continue this content. Okay, so number one, today's discussion, I think will center around certain key attributes of the condos that I mentioned before, even in the past few videos if you're following me through. So I work around these few key features because I feel that some of these points are quite anchoring, especially when you are talking about in the future if you were to turn it around to someone else. I think these few points actually help to anchor down some of the buyer's pattern or some of the buyer's requirements. Okay, then of course our broad-based divide them into two groups lah. You are either starting your first house, you might be a single, you might be a couple, or you could also be upgrader. You know, your family nucleus gets bigger, you have another kid coming along, you want to get a bigger place, or you also want to give your kid a nicer environment or a condo lifestyle, and henceforth you're upgrading from a current HDB or your current smaller 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom to a bigger 3 bedroom. And that is where I'll touch on also where to look for 3 bedrooms around $1.5 million. Okay, then I'll talk about first timers, 1 bedroom condos, or first timers can also look at 2 bedroom condos if their budget allow them to stretch a bit more up to around 1.5 million range, where I feel has condos that has good attributes. Okay, then also I'll talk about upgraders as I mentioned earlier, and finally a bit of bonus. It's also my own listing. It is a freehold 3 bedroom, around more than 1,200 square feet near the MRT. At a very reasonable, in fact it's below resale EC prices at 1,400 PSF. So stay tuned. I'd like to present this wonderful listing to you all at the end of the content. Okay, so first, when I talk about key attributes, if you have been following me through in the last few videos, right, most of the buying patterns of the homeowner, in fact my previous video, so if we take an example of a Great Wall, why is it quite an interesting location to look at? Because number one, definitely it is near the MRT. Thomson East line is the brand new MRT line, and then it's near a mall, Great Wall City, okay, with full of amenities. It also comes with some I believe there's some kids and enrichment classes and things that parents will also look out for at Great Wall City. It is near primary school, for example, River Valley Primary School as well as Alexandria Primary School. Okay, there are also cheaper amenities around lah. If we talk about like Zion Market, Tiong Bahru Market, I think these are things that even though everyone wants an elevated lifestyle, but of course being brought up as Singaporeans, you still like to go for hawker food, a bit cheaper amenities rather than always paying for the food court. Okay, and then they also sometimes, most of my buyers also want to know if there's any HDB upgraders in the surrounding. Okay, because naturally HDB upgraders form a pool of future buyers down the road after the house MOP. It's also a natural progress that they want to upgrade from their current HDB. Okay, and maybe a bit of lifestyle choices, like for example, if you are at Great Wall, you have the chance of going to Singapore River or Robertson Quay. If not, if you are, say for example, if I put you in the north area, you have the Sembawang Park, Sembawang Beach, or if you there's also the Sembawang Spring, hot spring. If not, if I put you in the east side, you can go to Pasir Ris Park, for example. It's also quite well established right now. And these are some of the little additional stuff that I feel can actually help to bring out the attributes of the condo. Okay, so next up, I divide the people that reach out to me into two groups. Okay, first part, of course, we have the first-time home buyers. They could be singles, they could be couples, looking out to start out their first house. Okay, and special mention for this for first-time home buyers. If you are keen to find out more, I actually have one-bedroom condo guide that details some information about how do we pick a property, what is the investment strategies, or whether if you choose a subsale or a resale, which is better. So if you want to find out more about, if you want to have a chance to have this one-bedroom condo guide, do reach out to me. I'm more than happy to send it over to you. Okay, then for upgraded families, that doesn't really work unless you say that the couple, you are looking for a one-bedroom as an investment source, as a rental income, then okay, fine. But usually for my upgraded families, they usually want to go for a bigger space, or a bit more elevated living, a better lifestyle. Okay, so how can I help them to find something that is around $1.5 million? Stay tuned. I have some interesting products that we can look at. Okay, so if you look at the first group of buyers, the first time one-bedroom condos, below $1 million. Okay, so as of July 2025, this is what I found online. Okay, and I feel that they have some strong attributes lah, as a place to stay, as well as a place that will grow a bit more value in the future. Okay, so I divided further into east side, the north area, the west area, as well as maybe in the central area. If you are really very if you really want to be very near to your work, if you work in CBD area and you want the convenience of living in town. Okay, so if you look on my screen, on the first is Dinas. I think Dinas is quite a nice condo to consider in the east side. It is definitely within walking distance to Pasir Ris MRT, and Pasir Ris now versus 10 years ago is really very much different, with the Pasir Ris Mall coming up, with an additional cross island line coming up. I think there's a good amount of transformation that will draw more people into this area, and henceforth certain form of appreciation, or certain form of this kind of features will help the appreciation of your condo. And not just that, I think you still can find something that is slightly just below 800,000, which for one bedroom is not so easy to find in the current market. If you want to have, like, for example, near the MRT, near a mall, and of course there's some like Pasir Ris Park near some of the lifestyle activities. Okay, so if you were to look into the north area, interestingly, if you want something that is slightly newer, just TOP subsale, you can look at Commodore. And why did I pick Commodore is, of course, number one, really quite near to the Canberra MRT. If I'm not wrong, is within 5 to 7 minutes walk, okay, through the new HDB that's right in front of them. And there's also, it's quite an established place now at Canberra, because I used to be staying there. Okay, so there's Canberra Plaza and there's Sun Plaza, and there's definitely primary schools around there, cheap amenities for sure, because it's a HDB neighborhood, technically speaking. But particularly why I picked Commodore is because when I look at the different layouts of the one bedroom, when I was searching through today at in the north area, especially at Yishun as well as Canberra side, I realized that even though North Park Residence, which is a very comparable product, almost about the same price point, 900 plus ish. However, it is a 431 square feet studio style kind of layout, and I think that might not be so appealing as compared to Commodore, which is literally a unit with living master room divided also, and it's not connected like a studio style. And likewise, when I was looking at 8 River Suites, because technically speaking, when you look at older resale condos, it is generally a bit cheaper. Yes, it is, but the layout also not as fantastic as the one at Commodore. And interestingly, also right across from Commodore, if you look at Brownstone, Visionaire, as well as the two other ECs across the road, Park Canberra and Province, they do not offer one bedroom unit types. So essentially, supply of one bedroom is quite limited around Canberra MRT station. And if you look at Commodore, I think it presents itself as an interesting option. Firstly, it's pretty new. Secondly, I think there's quite a few listings going on. So I'm sure that some of the sellers are also a bit keen to let go. So maybe you can get a good price from the amount of supply over there. Okay, so next we look at is Midwood. Okay, if you look at the west side, I think Midwood presents an interesting option also. It is situated at Hillview MRT station, which is around 7 to 9 minutes walk from the MRT downtown station. Okay, and I picked it also because it is relatively brand new, and as compared to the two other condos that has a one bedroom there, like the 𝗂𝗵𝗄𝗃 as well as 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲, is way better in terms of layout, very functional layout. Okay, and then next thing is that it's definitely the upkeep of the condo is definitely better than 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 at Hillview Peak. Okay, and also it is reasonably priced, way below $1 million, below 900,000 in fact. So I think it is one of the interesting options that you can look at if you don't want to be too far west, like you don't want to be at Bukit Panjang, you don't want to be at Choa Chu Kang, but yet you still want to take advantage of the MRT at downtown station. And also you don't want to pay too much 2 stops away at Beauty World. So I think Hillview sits on a sweet spot for some of the first time owners, or if you are setting up your new place. Okay, and finally, if you look at town area, I have been doing a bit of viewings around CBD, and I chanced upon 𝗂𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗃 twice already. I went to view that place twice. If you are very focused on the location and you are very focused on your price budget, and you can forego your size of the house, I think 𝗂𝗂𝗱𝗲𝗃 presents an interesting option. Firstly, of course, the upkeep is still relatively okay. The unit layout, most of them seems to have quite a good, quite well maintained, I would say. It's not terribly bad as compared to if you go and see the Clift, as well as the other one is 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗲 or 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗲. I think these two, yes, they might be very competitive in the pricing, but the upkeep of the condo as well as the unit maintenance, I think is a bit lackluster as compared to 𝗂𝗂𝗱𝗲𝗃. Okay, and of course, being in Tanjong Pagar, is nearest to the Tanjong Pagar MRT station. Okay, you also have the 100 AM mall, and interestingly, to live at Tanjong Pagar, you will get to have the new world concept of stuff, like being near to Raffles, being near to the developed areas in Tanjong Pagar. You also get to enjoy the cheaper amenities at Tanjong Pagar Plaza. Right downstairs, there are a few eateries that are very affordable in pricing, and also you also get your NTUC fair price over at Tanjong Pagar Plaza as well. So I think living at Tanjong Pagar, if you are on a budget of below $1 million, is quite a nice place to consider, and you can have a look at. Okay, so having said this, if you are a first-time homeowner looking for a one-bedroom, but then you don't want to buy into resale because you feel that resale, some people are a bit more particular, right? They don't want something that people have stayed before. They want something brand new, or they also want to have a bit of the because it's their first house, so they want to experience it brand new, and they also want to have the defect liability period or warranty from developer, right? So they might want to consider a brand new condo. So if we look at brand new condos, right, unfortunately, having to look around, as the existing stock right now in July 2025, we only have something that is slightly more than $1.2 million, which is at One Marina Garden. Okay, so the one bedrooms there at 420 square feet, 431 square feet, and 452 square feet is around the range of $1.2 to $1.3 million. Okay, having said this, of course, I think there are interesting products that's going to come up in the month of July, August, leading up to September, because there are also a few plots of new launches that's going to come up. For example, we should be looking at is Springleaf Residence, because there is a 941 unit condo, which means it's really quite big, and henceforth the unit selection should have quite a bit of choice, and the developer will likely to do a one bedroom layout over there. Having a one bedroom layout over there, if we take reference from start of the year March, as Lentor Central as a reference, right? If they were to do a similar layout of 463, okay, I think being two MRT stops away at Springleaf considering Targo. Okay, it should garner a slightly lower PSF, and if your Q number is right, you might be able to be lucky enough to get something that is below $1 million if the developer decided to do a 463 square feet, and even better if they decide to do a 431 square feet, because it is now a harmonized plot. So 431 essentially is also quite a reasonable size to live in. Okay, so this is one of the projects that you can look out for in the upcoming 2nd August onwards, the launch. And I also have done 2 videos, 2 parts on Springleaf. I'm just waiting more information from the developer to come out to do my part 3. So that stay tuned, I will definitely talk about it. And I think it's one of the exciting launches that's going to come out in the OCR this year, that is right next to Springleaf MRT station. If not, if you have a bit more of a budget, and you have been following my CCR content for the past month, we can also be considering a Promenade Peak because of this skyscraper effect that they have. They might be able to have a starting from price for 1 bedroom to be around $1.2 million thereabouts, which is very similar to One Marina Gardens. Okay, so likewise, stay tuned. It is going to be quite an exciting launch also. So if you are a first-time buyer and you are looking for something that is around the 1.2, you have a budget of 1.2 million range thereabouts, I think you can definitely consider one of the upcoming launches at Great Wall, which is Promenade Peak. If not, if you want to scale back on your purchase, you can also consider the one at Springleaf Residence, just right outside Springleaf MRT. Okay, moving on. Next, if you are a first-time buyer and you are looking for a 2-bedroom condominium between a value of $1 to $1.5 million, what can we be considering? I brought on 4 different. Likewise, I brought on 4 different locations that we can consider, and 2 bedrooms that are generally 2 different types. One with 1 bathroom and the other one with 2 bathrooms. Okay, so if you really want to have 2 bathrooms, and you want to be in the north area, I think you can look at Vision Air. The Vision Air, which is right beside Canberra MRT station, should be within a 5 minutes walk, and it's a shorter walk to the side gate for Vision Air. Okay, it is asking for $1.16 million. It is 721 square feet, layout reasonable layout size, room size looks reasonable also. Most importantly, why I picked Vision Air is because when I did a bit of the research around, obviously Brownstone doesn't have any 2 bedrooms for now for sale. If you were to scale back and you compare like 8 River Suites, they are also around this price range. They are also slightly more expensive because the unit size is bigger, and they are also in terms of the open concept kitchen. So if you ask me to do a comparison, I think I would rather pick something cheaper and something newer, and since they both have the open concept kitchen in the layout. Okay, if we look at next in the northeast region, okay, I think this is one of the ECs that are also a bit forgotten. It's called Oxview Residences, and you can actually find a 2-bed 2-bath there that is around $1.1 million, and this is quite a rare find, I think, because right now, since prices have been moving steadily in the past 5 years, some of the 2-bed 2-baths, especially if you compare to Esperina, which is 2 streets away, right, it's already at $1.4 to $1.5 million already. So being within the same area, Sengkang, you can get a 2-bed 2-bath, and the TOP period is not too far from each other, Oxview versus Esperina. I think Esperina presents itself and a good value proposition, and not just that. If you Oxview presents itself a good value proposition. Okay, and not just that. If you look at the layout of Oxview Residences, okay, it comes with, if I'm not wrong, enclosed kitchen, home shelter, and 2 proper size bedroom, and quite a reasonably sized living and dining area. So I think in terms of value wise, I think you're getting quite a fair bit at paying for at least around $1.1 million. Okay, next is the 2 other projects that I like the most. Okay, so number 1, if you ask me to be in the east side and I have the budget of going up to $1.5 million, definitely check out Park Esta. Okay, it presents itself as strong attributes in terms of being near the MRT. Okay, and then there's a mall nearby. There's also a hawker center nearby. And if you look at the transactions at Park Esta, it has been quite steady over the past few years, akin to what I like to say, like a blue chip kind of, if you talk about stocks, kind of like a blue chip kind of stocks, because somehow, or rather, the attributes, or rather the attractiveness of Park Esta is there, and the prices are holding quite well. So, which means to say, if you were to exit down the road, I think you should be able to garner quite a bit of capital appreciation as well. Okay, so just very close to $1.5 million, we can get a 2-bed 1-bath at Park Esta, which is 635 square feet. And fortunately, one of my buyers also got into Park Esta also. We just bought it at close to around $1.41 million for the same layout as well. So having seen the transactions and also understanding a bit of the owner's profile over there, because Park Esta is mostly own stay kind of concept. So most of the owners, when they want to let go, they also want to upgrade to something bigger and more expensive. So indirectly, they also can't really sell their current unit at a very low price, and henceforth, I think this helps to push up gradually your price appreciation if you buy into Park Esta, for example. Okay, next one to consider, of course, in the Bishan Toa Payoh area, I would say is 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲. Okay, similarly reasonable size, 646 square feet, and and the capital appreciation has been quite consistent at 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲 as well. And not just that, it also brings about a very welcoming kind of feel or environment, because even though it has 1,200 units, but the land size is really very big. So if you watch my previous video, I did talk about the density, and 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲 actually has one of the least density condos. So everyone has a very good amount of space, especially a very livable space as well. Okay, so if you ask me, one more key feature for 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲, interestingly, not just because it's near Marymount MRT, right? It's also very close, within 1 kilometer, to two very good schools, Cat High and Aitong. And these are top choice of schools for people staying around Ang-Mo-Kio, Bishan, and also Toa Payoh to put their kid into. And interestingly, 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲 also lies in an area whereby there is a good mix of new stuff at Thomson area. If you want to have a bit more cafe lifestyle, they also have the Shunfu Market, which offers a bit more affordable food choices. So I think 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲 sit nicely on this comparison and on this recommendation of mine, if we are looking at something that is between $1 to $1.5 million. If you are a first-time 2-bedroom condo buyers, and you are, again, likewise, you don't like to live in something that someone lived before, you don't want to buy the resale market, however the choice is, and maybe it's more affordable, but you don't mind paying a bit more for new projects. If you were to look at the current market right now, in July 2025, of the post-launch products, right, there is nothing available that is below $1.5 million. If we were to increase a budget a bit more to 1.6, we actually have 6 products to look at, which is 𝗃𝗗𝗃𝗃, the Shorefront, Orchard Sophia, Gems, View, the Lake Garden, and the Mist. Okay, not very attractive if you ask me in terms of attributes that I would recommend. If you ask if I can do my recommendations, I would rather we keep our bullet for Springleaf Residence, which is going to be up and coming in the August this year, in about a month's time, August this year. If not, we can look at the Sands at De Souza Avenue. At De Souza Avenue, which is at Beauty World area, Jalan Jurong Kechil. Okay, that is also going to come up in the September period this year. And why I would say that they are a bit more attractive is because, again, using the benchmark of Lentor Central having launched at the start of March period, right? If the developer were to do a harmonized size of 6, 7, 8 square feet, or even slightly smaller 2-bed 1-bath at 635 or 624, right, you can actually see that the pricing will be a lot more attractive. I think we can go as low as around $1.4 million. You can get a 2-bed 2-bath. If not, we can also get a 2-bed 1-bath at around a 1.3 million range. So I think highly, if you want to go for something new, stay tuned to these two launches that's going to come up. I think you'll find a very good value in terms of this the pricing because of the harmonization, because of it being a harmonized plot. Okay, so this is my recommendation for first time buyers for 2-bedroom condos. If you are looking for something new, I think we should stay tuned and wait for the upcoming launches at Springleaf or the Sands at Jalan Jurong Kechil, the area, to see what is the launch price that's going to come up. Okay, so having mentioned about these two, for the first time buyers, okay, in the 1-bedroom segment, what can we be looking at? In the 2-bedroom segment, what can we be looking at? Next, I'd like to talk a bit also on the upgraders for the 3-bedroom condominiums below $1.5 million or at around $1.5 million. Off your mind, if you have been following the property prices, you might think that it's a bit not so easy to find. But essentially, if we were to scale back on certain requirements, I think you can find relatively good deals at around $1.5 million. So if you are in the north area of Singapore, okay, sorry, if you're in the north area of Singapore, I think there's two condos that I myself would recommend. Number one is you can have a look at Park Life. Okay, Park Life is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 947 square feet, starting from at $1.28 million. This is in July 2025. Okay, so I think essentially, firstly, the size is not below 900 square feet, reasonably sized. Number two is that the pricing also very competitive, is in fact below $1.3 million. Of course, having said this, we had to scale back a bit on the MRT requirement because it's about a 10 to 12 minutes walk to the MRT. And at Park Life, you are slightly away from Sun Plaza, so you don't really get the convenience per se. But if you're on a budget, but if you're very focused on budget, or you want to do a decoupling, which means you want to buy a 3-bedroom, or you want to do the decoupling, which means maybe your husband buy the 3-bedroom and you yourself buy a smaller 1 or 2-bedroom. I think this one sits quite well onto some people's requirements. If not, if you're willing to pay a bit more, okay, closer to $1.4 million, I think you can look at Brownstone, which is where I used to stay. Okay, Brownstone, 883 square feet. Even though it sounds like a small 3-bedroom, but if you look at the layout, it's actually quite power packed. Enclosed kitchen, there is a yard area, 3 proper bedrooms, okay, and then there is also a living room and a balcony also. So I think if you are an upgrader and you want to focus on your budget, and also down the road you also want to have some appreciation, I think you can also consider Brownstone at around, this one is at around $1.34 million. I believe if you offer 1.35, 1.36, you might be able to secure the unit. Okay, next up, for people in the northeastern area, so if you're an upgrader in the Sengkang Punggol area, one of the interesting value condos or ECs to look at is Bellwaters. Okay, I think Bellwaters is reasonable in terms of its size being 926 square feet, and it's a 3-bed, 2-bathroom at below $1.4 million. Because if I'm not wrong, right now, adjacent to it, which is the Vales, another EC has already gone up to around $1.5 million for a compact 3-bedroom, and so is for Treasure Crest. So I think for Bellwaters, you are actually riding the wave of these two ECs, helping you with the appreciation of your condominium. Okay, and if you are in the west area, northwestern area, say for example Bukit Panjang or Choa Chu Kang, I always recommend these two. Number one is Soul Acres. You can see Soul Acres has a very consistent appreciation in terms of the. You can see Soul Acres has a very consistent price appreciation in terms of its PSF, and this is a compact about 900 plus square feet at $1.4 million. If you want to have the MRT element into your condominium, definitely should check out the Rainforest. I think it presents a very nice location, as well as being a 3-bedroom at 958 square feet at around $1.4 million. And from the looks of this listing, it's not a low floor unit, and henceforth I think there's a bit more value in such a case. Okay, so if you ask me, these are some of the 3-bedrooms for sorry. So if you ask me, if you're an upgrader looking for a 3-bedroom condominium that is around $1.5 million range, there's definitely such a supply in the market. There are also more choices. Feel free to reach out to me. More than happy to share with you what are some of the condos that you can look at, especially in the area of your choice. And if not, what can we do with your if not, what can we do in terms of planning of in terms of your upgrading? If not, what can we do in terms of planning your upgrading journey from your current place, be it a current MOP, HDB, and or a current 2-bedroom per se? Okay. Then again, if you are looking for something new condo then again, if you are upgraded and you want to buy onto something new launch, if you have watched my video also, there are certain attributes of new launch projects that even though it's slightly more expensive, it presents a appreciation opportunity, and that is what you're looking for your next place, right? You can actually consider, obviously nothing as of now in the market that is available as an existing stock is available below 1.5 million, but the upcoming launches do have hopefully some of this opportunity. How do I map this? Firstly, if we look at 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗯𝗀 Mansion, which was launched last year, okay, if they follow the size at 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗯𝗀 Mansion at 786 or 818 square feet, I think we can get something that is around the price of $1.7 million or thereabouts. And alternatively, if you have been following the new ECs that has been launching, being a very efficient size of 840 square feet harmonized plot with a full-fledged bedroom at 900 square meters, master room at 12 square meters, enclosed kitchen with a home shelter. So if they were to be able to recreate this 840 square feet, and at the average launch price for Springleaf or the Sand or Canberra Crescent at $2,000 PSF or $2,050 PSF, I think there's a good chance that you can score a 3-bedroom at around 1.68 million or $1.7 million. And that actually presents a very interesting option, because frankly speaking, if you ask anyone else, if you have been on search and if you're looking for something new, there is quite hard to find a 3-bedroom brand new in the market at around this price range of $1.7 million. Okay, so definitely should stay tuned for the upcoming launches in the next in August and in September, because I think the 3-bedroom will have a very good value proposition, especially when down the road when you turn it around. I think you can easily benefit. I think when you turn it around down the road, you can easily make around $150,000-$200,000. Definitely a very strong value proposition for the upcoming new condos if you can get in at such a good and low entry price. And finally, having mentioned so many of the other people's listing, maybe I can talk a bit about mine. I feel that this my own freehold listing has a very strong value proposition, because number one, definitely is a 3-bedroom, more than 1,200 square feet. Okay, it comes with a yard and a utility, which is what most of the upgraders they are looking for, especially if you have a family nucleus of especially if you have a family nucleus of 4 to 5 people with a helper. Okay, it has unblocked landed views. It is on a freehold piece of land. It's below 1,400 PSF in the east side of Singapore, whereby some of the resale ECs, like for example Tampines Trillion or City Life, has already gone up to 1,007 or 1,800 PSF. And it is relatively near the MRT downtown station. Okay, so if you want to have a look at this listing, it is called 𝗁𝗃𝗯𝗃, and the asking price is $1.789 million. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to show you this listing. Grab it before it's gone. Alright, that will be the end of my video. I hope this can give you guys an idea of what you can buy at around the 1.5 million and below, what kind of condos you can look at. And I hope you find this video content very useful. Remember, help me to like and subscribe. If not, I'll see you in my next video. Stay tuned. Goodbye.